Oh, all right. There we go. Welcome, Grey Monad. Welcome, everybody else. We'll be getting started very soon as I get a couple more things set up. Money, money! Okay, I'm muting myself again. There we go. Going live in 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's Push Start Games Cast. I'm not calling it a podcast. Live cast. Live stream to all of you beautiful people out there. And welcome to a lot of new faces on the channel as it's been growing. Red, congratulations for your channel has been doing exceptional. And I'm so happy to see that. If you can't tell and hear it in my voice, I am incredibly sick and incredibly congested. But we're here to talk games with all of you because I missed you. Because I missed last week. I missed you, Holly, last week. How are you? You've been going through a lot. And thank you, Red, for 3 months. You got a nice little green badge. I don't think I did too much crazy stuff with those badges, but they get to different colors. But thank you for continuing because you helped me get some new toys and new tools that I want to share just really quick. I can't show it because it's here. It's right there. But it's a fun new toy. But Holly, I've missed you. The background, that background looks there's a sicko. Just tell me all about it.
Oh, I love how he got like puked up when he was saying.
It's because I'm so excited for this new background. I just can't contain it, and it's coming out in all of the in a form of bodily fluids, which is only for the rarest forms of excitement. Wink, wink.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Well, all right. I mean, that's the show. We talk about bodily fluids. Where else can we go?
Oh.
No, I did this all myself, the whole thing, except I didn't make the neon myself. I wish I could, because man, that would be awesome. But it took a lot of work. I anchored multiple grids into the wall, and then I took all these like panels this size of the greenery and attached them to the entire grid system, and then I put little flowers in here. And I also have shelves that I'm thinking about putting in so I could like move in and out like game stuff right against it if I want or not. But anyway, yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, like they'll just be like little shelves, and then they'll and
is the sign flickering, or is that like the camera is getting disrupted a bit because of the frequency of the light?
You know, it is interesting because I think my camera has been having a little bit of, I noticed since I plugged this whole thing in, I think it's having a little bit of hard time focusing.
Okay,
because of the neon, but mine does.
Yeah, mine
like,
sometimes do that too. They don't on this. I had to change it to like this specific lighting.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Right, is like this has like different brightness. And I it might flicker too, but I was like, flickering's too distracting, right? So
it can be, yeah. But it looks fantastic. Yeah. Like as far as setups go, I think I've become a big fan. I know I have all the gaming neon light up like mumbo jumbo behind me, but I've become a big fan of like the simplicity, and I see a lot of content creators going to that where it's just like their wall and a shelf behind them. And I think it just looks so clean and nice, and that beautifully like minimalistic, and that beautifully fits the aesthetic. I love it so much, and I love the pink and the blue together. Like that's super nice.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Thanks. It's really nice. I am happy with how it turned out. No, Monad, I can't do the Homer into the bush. Maybe you can see a raccoon hanging from it at some point, but I should definitely get a toy raccoon and attach it to the wall now as like a symbolism. But,
have them like poke out at different points in the wall, like sometimes poking out from behind your PC on the left there.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Moving around.
Or just hanging from the ceiling like freestyle, like Tom Cruise. Like...
Yeah. Get him on a little train. Put a little train on the ceiling that goes around. You'll see him like doo-doo going around.
So he'll just
or like in Toy Story when Buzz is riding the plane in circles, he's showing off he can fly. Like just have him on one of those, like.
Yeah. Nah.
Fallen
Anyway,
style.
so
I love that for you. Welcome, Grey Monad, Arcane, Red, Influent, and Happy Bomb. Happy Bomb says, "I love your background. It looks so good." I think so too. That's
thank
what
you,
we're
Happy Bomb. Hello, hello, hello.
And if anyone, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I'm done. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, anyone who happens to stop by that is a new subscriber to the channel. I know we got a lot recently from I made a video talking about Elder Scrolls, which was so nice to talk about Elder Scrolls again, because they, like, what inspired me to make that video was seeing a lot of posts on Reddit that were just talking about how they were making predictions, the release date, are we going to see this in the game, like what that, and some of them were pretty far-fetched. Like, I love the passion and I love the excitement, but things kind of get out there a bit, and I'm always the person that's like, all right, let's take it a couple steps back. Like, let's, like, I love getting excited, but let's be realistic about it too. So I wanted to make that video, and it was so nice to just have, like, because Elder Scrolls fans, they're so hungry for more. I'm hungry for more, and they just wanna see, like, and talk about it and get in discussions and talk about the lore and all this great stuff, and just return to that world. So it was nice to kind of envelop myself in something that I'm super passionate about. And we have some nice Skyrim footage. I replaced the background today with that, with some Skyrim stuff that I recorded. So hopefully looks kind of nice. I like the fire in the background warming Holly's arm from this angle on the stream. But anyway, thank you all for being here. And thank you guys for the support. Part of the support that you guys have shown, whether it's through channel memberships or super chats or just watching the videos and helping the channel grow. I now have, I always say, like, I reinvest back in this channel, and part of that money I have in front of me. You can't see it, but this beautiful new, it came in this box, this nice new Elgato product. It was a bigger box than this. This just has, like, the accessories stuff for it. That actually came out really quite nicely.
It did, accidentally, yeah.
So it has all that accessory stuff, but I have the new Elgato teleprompter, which I have used that for my last video, and I'm someone who I think does a very good job, even if I'm reading from a page, like, because I'm Italian, and I will just do all my videos, because that's the only way I know how to talk. But I feel like I do a pretty good job. This is the rest of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I do a pretty I feel like I do a pretty good job.
Hello,
like,
honey. Hello, my lady.
Hello, my rectum girl. I feel like I do a pretty good job of coming off as organic even when I'm reading a script. And I think that especially when I was watching that video back, it did such a good job, because I was using this teleprompter to just make everything seem organic, and I was able to ad-lib the parts I wanted to ad-lib, stay more concise with my information, because like I am now, rambling's a big problem for me, and it kept me on track. It let me go off track a little bit. So Elgato, hashtag not sponsored. This is a phenomenal product. I love it. Holly, I know you have the prompter as well, and you've been loving it also.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now while I look at you.
There you go. I actually want to see if I can.
It's a little bit of setup. It's kind of a pain in the butt to set up, but
actually,
it's great after that.
So I want to hear, Red, member for 3 months, he asked you to talk a little bit about Metal Gear Solid Delta. I don't know anything about it. It's going to be my first Metal Gear game, and I want to try it out. Currently, I've had my teeth hooked into Skyrim again. I've been doing the Legacy of the Dragonborn mod. It's so freaking good. It is incredible. Like, I can gush about it for days. But you've been playing Metal Gear. I've only heard about crappy Unreal Engine performance, which Epic Tim Sweeney came out and said, it's not the engine, it's the developers not making it good. But the tools should be in place to make the optimization easier. And if you have if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. That's my take on it. So obviously there's an issue with getting optimization right with Unreal games. But while I try to see if I can't get my chat, you guys here in chat, on the teleprompter so I could read, tell me about your experience while all of you guys look at me from uncomfortable angles trying to set this up.
Cool. So it's really funny. I have never played a Metal Gear Solid game. I have at least 2 friends who just absolutely freak out about Metal Gear Solid because it is like their most favorite thing ever in the planet. Like one of them was like, I don't know if I would ever get a tattoo, but if I did, it would be the fox patch. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. And this is like a PhD chemist. So like, that's a big deal. So my experience with Metal Gear Solid Delta, coming as a noob with no expectations to like, love, hate any of the things with the game, is that it is brilliantly hilarious. It is, I call it Temu James Bond, and I don't mean that as like, it was funny because I wrote that in a chat and somebody was like, put some respect on the name, and Metal Gear Solid's amazing. I was like, I don't mean it in a really bad way. I mean it in like, he's like he's kind of, or a Temu Mission Impossible, right? Like Tom Cruise character. Like, it's like, because he's quirky and it's cheesy, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're going around with an alligator head, a crocodile head in the water as a disguise.
Yeah,
like it's...
I have a duck face. I have a, like, come on, right? You can get under a box and waddle around a level in a box, okay? Like, let's calm down a little bit on, like, the frustration, because, like, it's funny and it's brilliant and it's very clearly heavily Asian inspired, but, like, in a way that I enjoy. And I am very, very picky about, like, Asian influence in games and stuff like that. And I think it's fantastic. It makes me laugh a lot that Snake is clearly a gooner, and like there's a button for, like, this character shows up and she's a spy, and she shows up on a motorcycle in work coveralls that you would see like an auto repair person, right? And those types of work coveralls. She shows up and then she unzips it down to her belly button and she just has a black skimpy bikini top on. And you're like, all right, seriously. And then like later on, he walks in the room and he's like, oh, sorry, you were changing or something. And she's in the same black skimpy bikini top. And I'm like, well, why would you even say that now? Like, she was in the same thing before. She's like, oh, and she zips it up and then she zips it back down. And you're just like, really? And then there's a button to look at the game from, like, because it's third person traditionally, right? But you can hit this button to be in first person view. And when you go into first person view with Snake, when she's there and she's talking to you, all you're doing is you're staring at her boobies. And it's hilarious, right?
It's like the shot
funny.
in Mass Effect that they took out a Legendary Edition when the camera's just behind Miranda's ass. And it's just like that. And then Shepard just standing there like having a very serious conversation. I think it's like about her sister like being kidnapped by her dad. And she's just like, yes, Commander. Well, like, just standing there. It's like, and people were getting so pissed off when they took that out. They're like, oh, White Wally. They're like, oh, Sweet Baby Inca's ruining the game. No.
They shouldn't have taken it out. Like, there's like, it's just funny, right? Like, let's have a little perspective, right? It's hilarious. UE5 is a big problem. It was fine through the intro, and then when I got into like the first like real mission, I had a tons of stutter. I'm playing on PC. They did patch after that. The stutter was a little bit better after that. And I'm playing, and they give you the option to play in classical style or new style. I'm playing in new style because I don't have any emotional attachment to a classic style, and I would prefer new, modernized controls. So I am. And it's what really cracks me up. Again, the James Bond thing is I had no idea it was coming. But you play a certain part of the intro, and then it goes into a cinematographic intro. Ooh. And it is just like a James Bond. It's exactly like a James Bond movie where there's all these things floating over the scene, and there's the smoke clouds, and there's a woman singing this very dramatic song, and like words are flying all over the screen, and it's like 1,000 times you see Hideo Kojima, like all over everything because this is his game, right? Like he did everything. And the woman is singing about him eating a snake and eating a frog and eating a fish and eating a whatever. And you're eating snake eater. And it's like so ridiculous. It's great, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like he just knows the perfect point of cheesy to be perfect, right? Like it's just good. It's just very, very good. And I really like it. I really enjoy it. Some of the combat too is tough, right? I'm playing on normal, but like the stealth is like so difficult. It's like, I don't know, like these dumb, goofy enemies. You'll be in a bush and it won't move like at all. And they'll just be like, and then get you. And you're just like, what? I didn't do anything.
That's how I feel playing The Last of Us on grounded difficulty, and it's like you're not moving and the clickers, you do like one tiny turn, you're like, and then they're just, the clickers are all just like, you're just like, what?
Yes. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, you gotta give me a little, right? So, and then there's a couple things. Like the story is so cheesy but fun. Like, it's fantastic. Like. And I think I'm close to being done because I'm fighting Volgin. The last time I stopped playing, I'm fighting Volgin for the third time on top of the tank, which is ridiculous. You're fighting this dude, you kill him, you think you kill him, you move on, you think you kill him, you move on. Like, you know, it's ridiculous, but it's a fantastic game, and I really love it, and I'm really glad that I got an opportunity to play it.
Yeah, I didn't know there were so many MGS fans here. I'm reading the chat right now. Again, this prompter is incredible. I'm reading the chat right now, but you might not know it because I'm looking right at you guys. Look, do you feel this connection? We have such a I feel it with you guys. Influence says, I only played MGS 2, one of my favorite twists in gaming. Now, this is Metal Gear Solid Delta. This is the third one, right? But it's technically chronologically it's the first, right? Right.
Yep.
So I wonder, because this, as far as I know, it was successful as far as sales go, popular amongst players, and other than some of the performance issues, I think it's been doing well. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. So maybe we'll see, unlike Dead Space, that they'll actually go back and do the other ones, which would be pretty cool. Bobby says, I love Metal Gear Solid. Red, MGS3 is one of the only in the series that was heavily inspired by 007, hence the theme song and ladies and whatnot. The other games are very different, but with the same silly Asian stereotypes. And we'll be talking about 007.
That makes sense. Real fast, too. Yes. Yeah. And Grey Monad, sorry, just tie this in, too. He said he'd be more likely to pay 007. Grey Monad, I'm telling you, I think you would really love Metal Gear Solid Delta. I can't speak for the rest of the series, but I know Delta, I think you would really, really enjoy it. So at least get it on a sale if you can at some point in time, because I do think you'd enjoy it. Just to the other point too, is just that it makes sense that this is so not cliche, but like heavily 007 adjacent, because Hideo Kojima is very well known for just being really obsessed with cinema. And movie making and things like that.
And it shows in all of his games. Yeah. Exactly. Did Metal Gear start a really long time ago? I feel like Colt played that with my brother while we were dating. That is probably a good question for, I don't know, Holly, if you know the answer.
98.
But... Okay, there you go.
98 was the first Metal Gear Solid, I think. Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, it's pretty old at this point.
Remake.
It can drink.
Yep.
Metal Gear can drink.
There you
go. I snapped 2 PS controllers back in the day. Have you ever broken a controller? I have never, gotten angry at a game that I've broken it. That mad.
I have thrown a controller because I've been mad at a game. But I am also a girl, so I would stand up and I throw the controller at the couch because I know that it's just going to bounce around on the couch instead of throwing it on. I'm like, I need to throw this. Don't break it. You know?
I think the farthest I've ever gotten was my brother My brother is funny. I would play there's two games on PlayStation 2. There's a game called Goblin Commander, which is a fantastic game. Love that game. On the play, and he was always better than me at it. That and Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original. He was always better than me. And he would if I started beating him, he would hit me hard. And I think a couple times I would use the controller to jab him back, but he always won those fights. But I think that's the furthest I've gotten. Anyway, speaking of angry, PlayStation fans are pissed because Helldivers 2, this is a really quick one. Helldivers 2 is doing better on Xbox. They're not actually pissed. I just made that up. I think everyone's generally happy because exclusives are stupid and they're slowly going away. But just a very, very quick, I want to say I was really happy to see Helldivers 2 doing very good on Xbox. So far it's doing better on Xbox within the same kind of period of time as far as sales and player counts go. I think player count. Than it did in the same time on PlayStation, largely because it had already the hype and anticipation around it, which is to be expected, right? I think on PlayStation people waited, they saw it come out, it got popular, and then it kind of hit that curve. But on PlayStation, or I'm sorry, on Xbox, there was the anticipation compounded with they had a Halo crossover too. So like Xbox players already knew like, hey, it's gonna come out, I want that, and they picked it up. The question is, will this incentivize PlayStation to do more than just live service games on Xbox? Are we going to see Last of Us and Spider-Man and Wolverine making their way to Xbox 2 because they found success there? I think PlayStation's sort of locked in on their strategy, and I expect not, personally. At least not within this console generation. I will say maybe they might open up for the next generation of consoles, because it seems like that's even where the hardware is going, especially with Xbox. But don't have to spend too long on this. But do you have any thoughts on that at all? Do you care? You don't care about Helldivers, so.
I don't. I mean, I think it's smart for all platforms to open up to each other because it's for multi-plat, they need to, right? And they had like a 90% drop off or something like that with Helldivers on PlayStation. So they needed, kind of an influx again. So it's good. It sucks that people had to buy the game and then spend like another $20 for the war bonds for Halo.
Right.
Which I don't know that everybody knew. I feel like some people didn't know that.
I would have bundled it.
Yeah.
But know it's going to sell. That's the thing. You know that people are going to.
Or an extra $5 or, just something, right? Like, but I mean, it's the nature of live service games, right? And multiplayer now. Do I think that this is going to side sweep into everything from PlayStation?
Spider-Man coming to Xbox? I don't think
I keep seeing all those posts all the time now. And
that's
what I think we will see for sure is that PC is going to get PlayStation games much faster. I'm not sure that I think they'll be day and date, but maybe 3-6 months is my expectation. And I don't know, maybe the thing is if the next Xbox is a PC hybrid, if the next Xbox is a PC hybrid, then Xbox players will have access to PlayStation games through the PC version anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them eventually just start selling an Xbox port as well around the same time as a PC version would be releasing, because now there would just be a built-in workaround. But that would be next gen, right?
Yeah,
which is what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah, I think next gen will be very interesting to see how the hardware.
Maybe they will, though. It seems like Returnal has been one that's been floated pretty hard about getting an Xbox port. Who knows? And that game is older. The tail of it has long wound down. Maybe they'll try it. I don't know. If they were gonna try any, I wouldn't be surprised if it was that one.
See, it would be interesting to me. I would love to see them do this. And this is, again, just a very small thing I want to touch on really quick. Because I heard it today. I was watching Inside Gaming was doing their show. And Tom Henderson on Inside Gaming had brought up that he has heard from sources that there's a trailer ready for Wolverine. There's a trailer ready, and we can expect to see it shown either at a state of play that is going to come sometime between now and the Game Awards, I believe, or it's possible that it might actually make its debut at the Game Awards itself if sort of Jeff Keighley's trying to reel that sucker in and just pull him along, which I think he could land that fish, honestly, to keep that analogy going. Fallout 76 fishing update a while back, but go check that out. So I can see that happening, but I would love to see. One, I'm very excited to see PlayStation or Wolverine. I'm very curious, especially because that studio, Insomniac, got really screwed with the leaks that came out and the data breach that they had too. This is something that they brought up on the Inside Gaming show, which is that part of the time that it's taken is because the hit to morale, like simultaneously data breach and also their game got thrown out way too soon, was just a blow to morale, and the developers like had to recover from that, which shows you the impact of leaking things. Don't share leaks, it's not good. But either way, I would love to see them test it with something like that, to say, hey, let's do not day and date. I don't think they'll go to there, and I don't think most people are expecting that, but I do believe there's a strong possibility they say, hey, we're going to do PC and Xbox at the same time, though, in the future. Again, I expect to see more of this for next console generation, but if Wolverine is releasing sometime, which it is, sometime within this, on the PS5 and the Xbox Series, or on this PC, we'd love to see him try it out sooner.
Yep.
Don't think it'll happen, though. All right. So the big thing is, do you want to do... Well, I'll leave this one to you. Cronos and Hell Is Us, or Silksong? What are you more interested in? What are you more passionate about?
Well, to be honest, I've only played a couple hours of Hollow Knight, the first one, right? It's a cool game. The art style is really cool. Just maybe not quite my thing.
Okay.
But I think it's really, I think the, what do you want to call it? The reception around it is very cool.
Yeah, so talking of reception, this was the post I saw earlier from PC Gamer. They said, Silksong is so popular, even people in the piracy subreddit are encouraging others to just buy it. Quote, if we can afford to support them, we should. And I think that's hysterical. Wow. I absolutely love that when even the people who are pirating the game are like, no, just this one will do. In a day and age where like game conservation is a massive priority, that people are saying that. So I love that. It literally broke Steam for a little bit. 500,000 players just today, Influent.
Every platform.
Every platform.
That had a store.
It's been killing it. Welcome, King Styles. Jenkins, morning. Nice emoji there. Morning, Jenkins. Hello, King Styles. Thank you so much for stopping by. 500,000 players Influent on Steam just today. It's doing crazy number. It crashed Valve storefront earlier. And I knew Silksong was popular. I knew Hollow Knight was popular. I didn't think it was this popular, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think this is insane. Now, you made a really cool tweet earlier today. You had mentioned that it kind of goes to show you don't need these long marketing cycles for games. Because this one, I mean, it wasn't until the Nintendo Direct that we got a release date. And even then, the release date was tied to this, which I think that was actually part of their plan. Like, I think the mystery going into it and the evasiveness of this title was sort of what they wanted. But even when we got the release date, it was in the B-roll footage mixed with a bunch of other games. And it was just, like, tiny in the corner. It was like, here you go. It's in September. Like, don't pay attention to this. Which normally you'd look at that and you'd go, oh god, they know this is gonna be a flop. They messed it up. They messed it. That's how you normally interpret. I would at least.
Well, to be fair, are there any reviews out even? Because it was only announced with less than 2 weeks or right at 2 weeks, right? The actual date. So I'm sure it's fantastic. Like, I'm not doubting that it's not fantastic, but we don't know, right? Where the quality level in comparison to the first one is.
Hopefully better. It could be like an Ori 2 situation. I know Ori 2 at launch had lots of issues, but I'd like to think that Microsoft has sort of learned a bit, because this is also like a very high priority Game Pass title for them, which is cool that you can go and experience Hollow Knight Silksong right now on Game Pass, or on Nintendo Switch. Or just platform agnostic, because it's Xbox Play Anywhere. So again, play it wherever the hell you want, which I love saying that. That's like my favorite. It's my favorite thing. Play it wherever you want. I don't give a damn. All right, everyone just saying they're doing fantastic. This is great to hear. I'm glad that you guys are doing well. So Silksong, congratulations on the launch. Also launched today was Indiana Jones and the Order of lots of launches going on. Indiana Jones and the Order of Giants launched today as well. I am excited to hop into that. They have a really cool feature where the difficulty scales based on where you're at in the main campaign, because you can start it after you sort of get to, I think, the Vatican, a certain point at the Vatican level, and then you could jump right into it. I think that's really neat. And then they change the difficulty. They'll have more enemies. I think they'll have better gear or equipment, or they'll have a little bit more health and stuff to combat you, and add some challenge to it, which is super, super fun and creative. And I do like when games, I like difficulty settings in games, but I also like when they don't push it too hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sort of ingrained in the experience and it scales a little bit to you. I think, for example...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think, like, Arkham Knight gives you difficulty options, but after you pick it, it's like, it's done, and it plays well. And then it gets harder throughout the game. It relies on you getting better at combos, and I like that a lot better.
It's, I think it's really cool when a game, like, doesn't have a difficulty slider at all, because I just feel like if you did that, you really have thought out, like, you know what I mean? Like, the amount of plays by random people and other things, right? You've really had to think it through really hard about how delicate that balance has to be, right? It's not fair for everybody, though, which I understand, and that's a bummer, but it is kind of cool.
It is. All right, so go ahead and check that out. That's available on Game Pass. I think it's $20 for the new DLC. So Indiana Jones, if it's on your list, you can play it through Game Pass, and then you can hop into the expansion, $20 for Order of Giants, or it comes with the deluxe edition of the game if you paid for that. Hell is Us and Cronos New Dawn. I don't have too much to say about them personally, but I'm excited because I like hearing you get excited about things. It's like my favorite thing outside of saying go play your games wherever you want. Hell is Cronos New Dawn, I'm very excited about, because to me it seems like the best of the recent Bloober Team games, which is great, because I feel like every game comes out and they've always been historically this studio that you look at them and you go, this has a lot of potential, it looks great, their games show very, very well, and then the experience actually comes out and you go, the gameplay's like fine, and you know, it's fun, like the environment is cool, and the lore of this, you know, that they're building is cool, but the game itself, like, I'm glad I played it, but nothing special. Cronos New Dawn looks like it's continuing to step them in the right direction as far as one of their better received games. And I'm excited. This is one that I will probably hop into at some point during spooky season.
Yes. Wait, so do you want to talk about Cronos first? Or do you want to talk about Hell is Us? Or just yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I played both of them because I was very excited for both of these, and I couldn't decide which one to get first, so I just used my Epic cash and bought Hell Is
We
Us.
love Epic Game Store.
That's right. And they extended their 20% cash back to January 8th. So I'm just telling you.
Might pick it up.
And it's only a $50 game. Full price is $50. So that's good. So I hopped into that first because it came out a couple days earlier than Cronos. And it's very interesting. Some people hate not having like quests, like a very clear like quest dialogue tree or like a list, right? A journal, right? It's basically like, okay, go do this, go do this, go do this.
And more games are doing that lately, which I like.
Yes. I like that, although I also very much understand how frustrating that can be when you've really been trying to figure something out and you just can't figure it out. And you're just like, if I just had a quest, or like you get a phone call and there's some dialogue playing that gives you some key information and then you miss it and you're like, well, what did he say? I don't know, because there's no note for me to know what it said. You know?
Guess I'll restart the game now.
But Hell Is Us is very pretty. And what I've been seeing from almost everybody on the reviews, and I mean, I'm not very far in. I've only played maybe 3 hours of Hell Is Us and then just about 45 minutes of Cronos. But about 3 hours is that most people are saying that the combat is pretty repetitive. It doesn't really...
That's a recurring issue for Bloober games.
Nope. This is Hell Is Us.
Oh, Hell Is Us. Okay, sorry. Hell Is Us.
Yeah. So they were just kind of saying like a lot of the enemy types are somewhat similar. There's not like a massive interesting combat experience throughout the game, right? There's combat throughout the game, but it just isn't really you should play this if you're much more interested in like the family dynamics, the puzzling. There's a lot of puzzles and stuff like that, and I like that stuff a lot. That sounds great, right? So that doesn't turn me off at all about it. Cronos, I think I'm gonna stream Cronos.
Oh,
I played about 45 minutes of it just to try to see like what's the vibe here, how does it feel, so we could talk about it a little bit. So I'm going to it's gonna be an intense game.
Right.
And the thing about Cronos is that I've been seeing is that just like most survival horror games, it's very resource thin. So every shot counts.
Be. Yeah, which
Yep. But I did see a couple reviewers. I thought the GameSpot review is pretty good. And their review kind of spoke to the frustration about how it's like the story is okay, there's some really cool stuff, the world building is fantastic, but the combat is a little aggravating because sometimes there's just not enough material and they have to restart a whole section just because you kind of get stuck and you kind of have to like group enemies to try to get enough done sometimes, and that the combat just really isn't very forgiving,
right? Because
it never has like an easy moment or just catch your breath kind of thing. So
yeah, it's always
it scares me a little bit, right, to go into a game knowing that, but also I don't know, I think I'm gonna stream it because people like jump scares, people like seeing people nervous about games. So
I love them. I love that. That sounds awesome. I would watch that. And if you guys want to watch it, I know most of you here are already aware, but anybody who might be lurking and hanging out and just watching the show, or maybe watches after fact, you can check out Holly's channel down in the description to see and set that notification bell so you can see when it goes live. Thank you guys for being here. If you don't mind, if you're enjoying, hitting the like button. It really does help. I usually don't ask. I try not to ask that because I always feel I hate feeling like a I hate feeling like a YouTuber when I ask for that. I'm like it, but
I know, it feels weird to do.
I feel like I need a shower. But anyway, it does really help. So if you guys don't mind, Fark says he loves it. The new background, that blue number. Love the new background, that blue number. And then also says love the new background, that new number, that blue number. Sorry. I'm. For those of you that are joining, I'm very sick, so if I'm coughing and I'm like leaning over the side, I apologize. But we're here doing the show because I missed all of you. So thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I'm gonna throw little hearts in there. Hell Is Us sounds great. I watched ACG's review of it, and I like the system that they went for, where this is a really creative game mechanic. Which, for those of you, if you're anything like me and you've sort of only passively looked at Hell Is Us, it didn't grip me from the get-go, and then I saw it was like, oh, kind of a Souls-like game, and I went, I don't really want to play another Souls-like. But they have a really cool mechanic that I like about it.
It's not really a Souls-like either.
It's not really. Yeah, so one of the ways they distinguish themselves is that the enemies respawn when you go to a new area. And so it sort of incentivizes you to, like, keep pushing forward, I think is what ACG was saying, that you constantly are moving forward and go forward and go forward, because they won't repopulate until you kind of progress, and then when you come back, if you're backtracking, then they'll all be around, which I thought sounded like a really unique way instead of sort of what you traditionally see, which is resting at a rest point or something like that. And I can very much appreciate them going in more of a creative direction. I think I like that. I like to see that a lot.
Yeah, and I hate, like, that's one of the things that does kind of, like, I understand why they do it, but Souls likes with, like, if you sleep, well, everybody's back now, and it's just kind of like, ugh, like,
where'd you come from?
Yeah, I do prefer whether it's a Souls like or not. I do prefer games that have, like, repetitive, like, once I kill this subset, they're not there anymore ever, right? Like, so I can just come back here, do what I need to do. But
I've always wondered,
the chat like derping? What is going on?
They're having fun. They're having a good time, and I'm here for it.
Cool.
Cool. What? Cool. Nice. So, what I was gonna say, I've always wondered why Souls-like games don't take advantage of, like, one of the things I really like is in Jedi Fallen Order, you can get certain perks, and then with those perks, I think Grey Monad's just derping. Grey Monad and Fark.
I think Fark is derping, and I think Monad's trolling.
I think they're both broken. So if you guys just want to hit the refresh button on life, get it. No, I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want. You guys are having fun. Yeah, there's a perk in, I'm trying to remember what it was. There's a perk in Jedi Fallen Order that I really like, which randomizes the enemy placements, and they actually use sort of more difficult encounters. And you could turn that on, and they'll have different placements. And I really, really liked that. And I've always wondered why Souls games, just to try to make it a little bit more engaging, don't change. Just, you know, anytime you go and play Elden Ring, and anytime you respawn, the enemies are the exact same way. And I know that part of the reason is because they want you to kind of emphasize mastery, and you can go back to the location. Now you feel really tough because you're, like, sweeping these enemies. But I always thought it would be interesting to have, like, one time you go back, and also it's for scaling purposes too. Like, if there's a really legendary weapon locked behind, you know, a certain group of enemies, that they do it for the difficulty. Like, Souls games, specifically Souls games, not like Souls-like, are so well intentioned. And then you get through a horde of enemies, and these guys are meant to drain your health, or you just get through them, and then you pass on, right? And you feel really tough and really badass. But once you clear, like, a certain area, if you're just farming, I would love to see them, and they know that you've gotten that item that's located at the back of this area, to change up the enemy placements. Have nobody be there when you go back. Have a couple enemies be there. Have a really hard enemy that's suddenly there. I think
just a surprise all the time, right?
Yeah, keep changing it up. And again, you could do that after you find that super cool sword that's located in the back of all of it. Just so that way, again, that dungeon feels very intentional and not just random, because randomness can get in the way. But that would be cool. We're coming up on time, though, so I really wanted to hop into 007. So 007 came out. I have a long list of notes. I have 1.5 pages of notes, and I could have went on with this, actually, but there were a lot of standouts, and it looked really good to me. Now, again, I was watching that Inside Xbox show today, and they were poo-pooing on the game a bit because it looked too much like, for a couple reasons, but it looked too much like Hitman, which I think is a good thing, because there was a clear distinction between the moments that it looked like Hitman and also moments where it honestly looked like a 007 Uncharted, which I think that's a very cool blend, personally. You watched part of it. I watched all of it. Do you want to... And I've been talking for a bit. Did you get excited for it? I know that you were signing up to do the creator program. You know, they have a cool program that they're doing for it.
I did. I was actually gonna like really sit down and probably make a video about the reveal that they just did as part of the creator program. I never thought about a 007 game, but when I saw it was a thing that was coming, I was like, oh duh, why would we not have that? That makes so much sense. Why?
Have you ever played like GoldenEye and Agent Under Fire?
No.
You missed out.
But
that
I
was
do
some
love
fun
007.
multiplayer. They had
everybody
they
talks
had
about GoldenEye.
split screen.
Yeah.
I liked Agent Under Fire, I think was my favorite. But anyway.
I wish I think IO Interactive is fantastic and the Hitman games are super cool. I just wish that Bonds, even if they were going to have the same mechanics as Hitman for those Hitman areas, I wish it didn't look like Hitman. I wish it had a different skin. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. So I just but I'm also like hoping that I will be happily proved wrong and it will just really, I'm sure it'll be great.
All right, so let me get you both excited and also not excited for my series of things.
Cool.
Because there's
Cool.
good and bad. I hope you get that achievement for petting the cats, Gray. Pet all the cats. So it was a lot more linear than Hitman. You still had multiple ways you could pursue each thing. You could listen to dialogue, like they specifically showed, you need to get this camera. And if you get this camera, then you could sort of get into the back room with a person in this thing to get to the person you need to get to and do all the Hitman-like stuff. And they were showing you could do multiple ways to get that camera, which was pretty cool. The Hitman sections definitely looked like Hitman, but they were interlaced, I feel like, with a bit more scripted stealth sections. Like, they knew that one way or another, it looked to me like you were going to get to, like, this specific moment, and you're going to have to deal with this situation. Just the way that you deal with this situation, you could either do it stealthily, a bit more aggressively. You could manipulate the environment, or kind of how you distract enemies would be the big variable with your gadgets. Of which you do have a lot of gadgets to pull from. You have sort of smoke blasts that work very similar to the Arkham smoke grenades. My camera just decided to die. That's fun.
I was wondering about that.
It might have overheated.
Oh. Huh, interesting.
So let's try to give this a little soft reset
air
for a bit. Yep, we'll give it a little air for a bit while I go. But actually, you know what we can do? I know exactly what I can do.
It's fine though.
Yep. It's just the camera, which is why I think it's overheated. So, can actually throw this on here while I am vanished.
Oh, there you go. Good idea.
So you do have many gadgets. The smoke blast that kind of works like the Arkham smoke grenades, where you disorient them, then you could go in and you could do some silent takedowns. You could jam doors, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, they showed a scene where they get someone locked in a room, and then he breaks off the door handle, so the guy's trapped inside that room, and I thought that was super, super fun. And then you can there's some enemies that you can't manipulate, but if you get rid of them, you can sneak into them and then talk to the remaining guys and sort of be like, oh, whoa, I'm here, like, please let me keep passing through. And they'll be like, all right, no problem, mate, you're good to go. Because that's how all British people sound like now. Don't argue with me. Uh,
It's a fact.
so during the gameplay, there were things that I didn't like. Some distinct things that I did not like. First and foremost, was there's a 3-minute chase sequence that's really. Did you watch that far to the chase sequence?
In the car,
Yeah.
I saw parts of it,
Okay. It goes
but I
on.
didn't know it was 3 whole minutes.
It
That's
goes
a
on for
long
three,
time.
almost 4 minutes. Yeah, almost 4
Oof.
minutes of this car chase. And the issue is that it's very, very, very on the rails. Like the person that's in the car with you is sort of saying like, "Oh, go right, go left, like do all these things."
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, what's happening is there's no, like, you can only go left, you can only go right. I'm trying to get the camera back working, so thank you guys for your patience while I pull this up. I'm going to just do this really quick. So that's basically, there's not really a lot going on in that case. So 3 minutes, really, really long. But then the action sequences were super cool because you sort of have this third-person combat that's very reminiscent of almost like an Uncharted game. And I thought that was really, really neat because it made me think how cool it would be to get a Naughty Dog 007 game, actually. It put that idea into my head. And I feel like they could nail it. Let me just try a couple more things to get this working here, this camera.
It's, yeah. I think I would have liked an art style from Naughty Dog a little bit better, to be honest.
The visuals were nothing to write home about in the game, in my opinion.
It's just that IO has this very unique look that always looks like it's got a little bit of just a little haze to everything. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I don't, like, it's okay and it has a place. I just wish it was a little more crisp for a James Bond game. Because James Bond, there he is.
There we go.
Because James Bond is all about style and finesse, right? And having really nice things and everything looking very sharp and keen for him. So I feel like that aesthetic would have been better suited.
So there's a lot of things I really like about when they get into the combat sequence. It looks really cool. In fact, let me kind of skip ahead to some of that because they're just doing a slow drive now. Here's the chase sequence that goes on for quite a long time. And then they get into some really dramatic combat. Bullets are flying, like guys are going down left and right. It's pretty intense. Some cool details about it is just sort of the visual fidelity as far as the particle effects go, I think are great. Now that also works to the game's detriment, which you could see in moments. This is their demo. This is their first reveal of the game, and there are stuttering issues all over the place. The frame rate is suffering, and it really goes, like, they need to turn down. You could see when like these particle effects are going off, you could see just the debris flying around him on the screen. Just the individual pieces of the cars and the walls and the barrels that are flying everywhere. And there's a section where he gets on board this plane, and the plane is tilting left and right, and the characters are going, and he's falling around, and there's things blowing up and cargo shifting, and and it really, there's motion blur galore going on, and it really does take a hit. Now, these are all you could see in this section where there's just things flying all over the place. Now, these are all issues that I know the developers are going to be aware of, right? They're not looking at this footage. There's one of my favorite things is he throws the gun at the guy and runs up to him. I absolutely love that too.
But they also, I mean, don't forget too, right? They also chose every bit of this footage to be their first real showcase, right? So I guarantee if they had any working build that had that stutter out of it, they would have shown it with the stutter out of it. They wouldn't have put it in. Because they know people catch that stuff all the time. So that just makes me nervous for the release. And Tim Sweeney needs to get his head out of his booty and acknowledge that there is a problem with UE5.
Yeah, there is. Which they're already on like UE 5.6 or something now, which you would think by then that a lot of this would be sorted.
Because it's been very much identified for a while now that it has a massive stutter problem.
Yeah. Everything. Even like, and it's frustrating too when a game like Metal Gear that's Delta came out, what, 2002?
Something, yeah.
Right.
6,
like,
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, early 2000s. So you're playing a game that's, and given the remaster looks phenomenal, looks really, really damn good. But when you go back and you play this beloved classic and you're like, well, it runs worse than the game that's 20 years old. Same with Oblivion Remastered, like, great, but I'm playing it and it performs worse and it doesn't, like, I don't know, sometimes the visual
improvements shouldn't be a heavy resource draw in the way that you would think would cause all of these issues.
Yeah, and it's the frame rate on performance mode is dropping into the 30s is just a shame. It's not good. So I really did like, but as far as the gameplay goes, that's where it's solid. I like that the enemies were having call-outs like, he's reloading, like, you know, I wonder... Fark is going fishing with his old man, which I missed that because I was getting my issues fixed, but I see it. Fark,
he's gonna be an old man and go fishing.
He's gonna do his old man
3 times, 4 times.
That's also, I guess he has memory. Memory comes with the old man.
He likes a lot
thing.
of fish. Yeah.
Or he's just going fishing 8 times, which individually. He goes, he casts his line, then he goes back home, then he goes back out, casts his line. Yeah, so I'm curious if the AI will respond to that and they'll get more aggressive if they see you, like, they see you reloading, they know you're reloading, that they'll pursue you more, or if it's just sort of, they have it set, like, audio-wise, and it's not really going to actually do anything. There's some HUD elements I don't like. Here's the plane part, and you'll see, like, the performance is really, really not good. It's bad. And there's a part where, like, he goes into melee combat, and the enemy just sort of flies across the room, and then I think gets sucked out the plane. So there's a lot of optimizations to be made. What else? So... lots of environmental interactions where you're, like, throwing guys into bookcases, into pool tables, into counters and tabletops, and I love that. And all the while you're utilizing a series of gadgets that you have, whether it's sort of this dart that incapacitates enemies for a little bit, or it's a beam that can, like, drop a chandelier on certain enemies, which is really, really neat, or you're using sort of... The other one was just kind of hacking, like, a radio that causes a distraction. So lots of different 007 gadgets that you can take advantage of to manipulate enemies and get them where you need them to go. All of which is playing out in a typical IO IOI?
IO Interactive.
IOI. So right. IOI game. Which is really... So, chat, Bobby says, I have some hype, but it's very rough. Influences, I've got no hype for this game. You seem mixed, as you sort of hinted at. I'm excited for it because I think it blends sort of the best of Hitman and the best of some of that Uncharted third-person shooting gameplay if they can get the performance down. And I like the more story-driven elements of this, too. Like, that I'm very much into.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Bond game, so it should have a fantastic story, right? Like, it really should, because Bond stories are usually pretty good, right? I think I really love James Bond. I just wasn't expecting a game, and now that we have it, I'm like, oh, and then in my head I'm like, but I guess if I had thought about getting a James Bond game, it wouldn't look like Hitman.
Right.
And that's just where I'm really, really hung up. It's not even the gameplay aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the look of it. But I will be happy to be proven wrong.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And there's some ridiculous things that I absolutely hate that are just video gamey. Like, there's a scene, I think it's coming up soonish, where the stealth mechanics seem absolutely bonkers. Like, he distracts a guy that clearly should be able to hear him, but he's in some flowers so they don't hear him because they have the little question mark over their head, so they're distracted over here. There's a moment where he's shimmying across a balcony in this daylight scene that's playing in the gameplay. My camera decided to just poo-poo again. Sorry for that, guys. There's a scene where he's shimmying across in a balcony, and it's broad daylight. There's people like walking into the building immediately underneath him, and they don't notice him at all. So it's sort of wonky. I'm just gonna make this gameplay sort of the full screen here as we're talking about it, because camera is not having it today. There's also, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, so there's some things that I don't like about it as far as the stealth mechanics go that are very, very gamey.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That is another thing though too, is that like for a James Bond game, I would want it to be as realistic as possible.
Yeah, more realistic than Hitman.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
But there's one
as much
thing
as Nathan Drake is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one thing that I absolutely need to find, because this, I will pre-order it. Anyone who knows me knows I do not pre-order games. And if I do, it's because it's like a day before the game comes out and I do want whatever bonus comes out. Take heed, every company in existence ever made, period, until the end of video game history.
Uh-oh.
I will pre-order this game. Pre-order now and get a deluxe edition upgrade. What is that? At no additional cost for the pre-order. How many times? I wish my camera wasn't being a piece of crap today. But how many times? How many times have I sat on this stream, on red streams, on videos, and have said, I need to make the camera work. It needs to turn on. Because developers, they can do this for the pre-order bonus. For the pre-order bonus, you can get the deluxe edition upgrade, and that comes with the 24-hour early access and all of your, because god damn, I will pre-order it for this reason alone. This is the best.
24 hours is nothing.
It's nothing, but it's the principle. It's the principle that they're not charging you for the FOMO of missing out. Because I hate that. I hate the FOMO tax. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it to oblivion and back. And I want, for this reason, I want them to come out and say we have 5 million, it's not going to be this high, but we have 5 million pre-orders and we can't wait for everyone to get into the game 24 hours early because you pre-ordered and we gave you all this goodies as just part of the deluxe edition. This to me is like the ultimate thing. I love this. I love this to bits.
Yeah. I think everybody can tell.
If you haven't realized,
we love your soapboxes though.
My soapboxes.
Everybody in the chat was like, I love it when you get on your soapbox. We just wish we could see you yell at the same time. That's what makes it more fun.
I know, and this is what my camera is deciding to do at the moment, so that's super fun. There we go.
Oh. Fun.
Isn't it still going to cost more than the base edition? If so, I don't know. It's free. That's what they said. It's free with the pre-order of the game. If you pre-order the game, you get the deluxe edition upgrade. So, no. Take care, Influent. Thank you. Enjoy Sword in the Stone. Good movie. Happy Bomb loves it. Get on that soapbox. Hi, Timmer. Timmer, it's good to see you. I hope you've been doing well. Enjoy the week. And welcome, Zach. Thank you for stopping in. But any other thoughts on hit? I'm gonna pre-order it just for that reason. Because I want to support that. And I never pre-order games. I think I hate pre-ordering. But this is a reason to do it for me. So anyway.
No, I actually agree with you. I think it's nice. It's nice. We're just in such a weird time, right? Where games just don't launch in a full 1.0. They launch in a 0.92 or something like that.
And
right?
I wonder if that's part of why they're doing that.
Well, I was just gonna say, look at all the stutters and stuff in the right. So, I mean,
which that's not going to save them from poor review scores.
A backlash. Yeah.
No, it will not save them. And I do wonder if they're trying to garner that goodwill because they're like, there's no way we're getting this sucker polished in time. They got a year. They have, or less than a year, but like 6 months.
Did you see they also just made, I wish I could remember the whole thing that they just said, but they had made some commentary because they published Mind's Eye.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just recently made some comments about, of course they self-publish, but they're going to be thinking about like any external publishing from now on and what that really means for them. Because they probably lost, probably took a decent bath on Mind's Eye. Yeah. And even just the refunds and the back and forth on it, not even just lost sales because of all of the things, but, the extra work it takes to kind of keep it afloat.
Yeah,
afterward.
And all the customer service that you need, like all that to staff. And like if they're working overtime to get that done, like I don't think people take that into account either most of the time.
Right.
But anyway, that's all from me on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys all for hanging out today. It's been a wonderful show. Appreciate you hanging out with me, listening to my nasally voice as I get through my way through this. And it's the debut of such a beautiful, beautiful background and backdrop, which is really cool to see. So it looks amazing. It looks incredible. I love it to bits, and I can't wait to see it again. And I know people watching at home can't wait to see more of it. So thank you everybody for watching. Check out my latest video on Elder Scrolls 6 if you are interested. Yeah, go watch it, Arcane. It looks good, but it has its issues. There's some things about it, but I'm excited for it. Holly, do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about? Anything to share? Any cool surprises? Cronos New Dawn stream?
I'm gonna stream Cronos New Dawn, and I'm also going to stream the Animal Shelter Simulator 2. So you should be very, very excited for that. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to get at least 1 or 2 streams in this weekend. Also, I'm gonna be guesting on Web Dave's podcast on Sunday night.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Oh, we love Web Dave. So go check out Web Dave. Yeah. He's great.
Web Dave's awesome. Yes.
All right. Anyway, thank you guys.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we will see you all next time. So long, everybody.